Hey guys, welcome to another Linux tech tips and tricks video. In this video, we're actually going to be talking about Etsy host. The Etsy host file is essentially just a file that pretty much it's kind of like a little bit about DNS, but essentially you can statically set a URL to go hit a IP address for whatever you want. Now you're probably thinking about like, why would I ever do this, and what use is it? There are actually a few good use cases for doing this, and the big one that I've essentially found is for like development or testing, where if you're not ready to like set a DNS for something, essentially it treats it like a DNS server. So kind of like a DNS server. It essentially just maps a URL to an IP just for that host, though, so that you don't have to, like, if you're just testing, you want to be like, hey, I want to test something, I want it to be set to like dev.dragon.local or something, but I don't want to update my full DNS so that everyone can access it. That's what you can test and do it. Other things that you can do is, and this is more of a special use case where, say, for example, you're hosting something on your home network, but that is also publicly accessible. So like a Minecraft server per se. So like you are running a Minecraft server and you have a DNS record associated with it, which is like minecraft.dragon.com or something, right? So that your friends would access it. But if you typed in minecraft.dragon.com, it wouldn't work on your internal network, because essentially it would route out to the internet and try to route back in, but it doesn't work that way. So it actually has to hit the private IP of the server instead of the public IP. And in that case, doing a Etsy host update on your local machine to say, hey, minecraft.dragon.com points to your private IP for the Minecraft server works great. So what we're going to do in this video is essentially show you how you can actually update it and what it kind of looks like. So this video is also sponsored by me, myself, and I. So if you enjoy the content, want to sponsor me or send me some free hardware swag for my Home Lab series, let me know. My email is in the description below. So, okay, let's get started, guys. So, we will log into one of our servers. Let's just log into our C server here. Need to log in as root. So by default, pretty much you can actually do this on Windows too, and Mac also has a host file. The directories are a little bit different, but in Etsy host, so if I were to cat Etsy host on my Linux box, you can see by default you have 127.0.0.1 for your, and it's just pointing to localhost, and this is by default on my Linux box. There won't be anything new or anything else on this essentially. So what we essentially have here is not much, just pretty much saying, hey, you can route this locally, localhost. So say, for example, like I want to be able to say, hey, I want to test, like my Nextcloud, but I wanted to hit like nextcloud.dragon.com. So we'll just do it. So where it's like, if I were to curl nextcloud.dragon.com, I don't get anything. Actually, I do get something. Apparently, dragon.com is a okay. Dragon.com apparently is a lot more used than I thought it was going to be. So let's do like dragon.io. Maybe that isn't taken. Okay, yeah, dragon.io. Dragon.io isn't taken. Nothing's hosting from it, right? So, but what I could do is, if I do dig here, nextcloud.dragon.local. So, dig isn't. Let's look up. Neither of those installed. It's fine. Okay, give me 1 second. Let's log into my GitLab instance real quick. And DNS. And my Nextcloud instance, 136. Okay, so what we can do is edit Etsy host, and it doesn't matter where you add it, but we're just gonna add it at the bottom here. So 192.136, and we're gonna set it to nextcloud.dragon.io, right? So now if I were to curl nextcloud.dragon.io, it failed because it's not running on 80. Make sure you do. So by default, if you do a curl, it does HTTP. We want to set it to HTTPS. And connection refused, mainly probably because my Nextcloud thing is not running. It's my guess. I had to reboot all my machines because I had to Nextcloud. Oh, this is start Nginx. There you go. Oh, we'll ignore the cert because it's not the right cert, but it should actually resolve now. Yeah. So you can see that it actually resolved, and I was able to actually hit the server now. So that's essentially where you can essentially test, make sure that you can actually hit something from a server, or just set it to a different IP or whatnot. You can actually also do the same thing here in Windows. The one thing I would tell you is you need to open it up. If you want to edit it, you have to actually run it as open it up as an administrator, because you can't actually change it. And it's actually in Windows System 32 drivers etc. And then you have to select all files and host. And you can see I already have some stuff in here because I was testing other things on my other network. But you can also do 136, and you could do nextcloud.dragon.io and save that. And there's no restart or anything. It just automatically will take immediately. So now we would go nextcloud.dragon.io here. You see that the cert doesn't match, which is another reason that you could do something like, say for example, you had a cert that was a specific domain and you didn't have that domain set, right? Then you could do it so that you can validate the cert actually works. But because we have our cert as nextcloud.dragon.local, this is obviously not going to work. And then we can proceed, and it will bring you to whatever your test instance or what you're doing is. So that's just a really quick way to make it so that you can test something or override a public URL locally, so that you can still hit it like you would hit it, but it would route all internally as opposed publicly. So the other reason why you would want to use etc host also is, say for example you are load balancing between 3 instances, like a web service, right? And you want to specifically hit a specific server to test that server. You could, but it's based off of URL, so you would set the URL to be that specific server. So pretty much any machine, you can do it. You just essentially set your etc host, and it will be there until you decide you take it out. So that's pretty much it for this video. So if you liked the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.